Welcome back, dancers, to Beyond the Point podcast, where I'm blending the health and art of dance with the mission to create well-rounded, thriving, healthy dancers. At the time of this episode airing, it's that exciting, thrilling, and sometimes nerve-wracking time of casting. Nutcracker is in full swing, competition teams have been decided, your pieces are being set, and most of us are dealing with a twinge of disappointment because we didn't get the part that we wanted. You've undoubtedly experienced this on some level, whether it's not getting the role you wanted in the Nutcracker, or not being asked to demonstrate in class, or being put in what seems like the worst position in the choreography, while that same dancer that always gets front and center gets front and center. It could also be the degrading self-talk that happens when you're thinking the, quote, most beautiful dancer in the class gets that great job or beautiful lines for the upteenth time. It could be when you watch other dancers' solos for the first time and you're thinking, why didn't I get to do that choreography? It happens to us all. So how we deal with it and train ourselves to have better self-talk and outlook on life is so important. As I thought about this episode and all the times that this happened to me, I could actually feel my heart get a little heavier. And the truth is that I'm still getting passed up for roles and opportunities every day. That's right, guys. It's still happening. It's a part of life, and we have to learn to deal with it and thrive from it. Or the other option is that life sets in, it feels heavy, we get a case of the why me's, and we give up the control of our happiness. You have no control over the casting or the other decisions made by people to an extent, but you do have control over how you respond and thrive to these life decisions. So let's take a look a little bit deeper at a few aspects of this. When my dancers are working towards goals of a certain role in an upcoming ballet or job, here's a mistake that I see being made all the time. The goal they made is way too specific. Let me explain, and I'm going to use Clara from the Nutcracker as an example. In this particular ballet, there is one position, maybe two, maybe an understudy, for a dancer that has worked hard all year, showed up to class, is expressive, lights up the stage, and is an overall strong dancer. Does that sound familiar? That's probably you. Do you also realize that there are probably 10 plus other dancers that are the exact height, costume size, and done all the things that you did to get that coveted role? You just put so much of your self-worth into that one tiny role in a lifetime of experiences by making your dance goal a single role in a ballet. You deciding whether you are a good dancer or whether you've improved this year based solely on getting that one role is bananas. Let me tell you, as a past dancer, company director, teacher, that there are 100 reasons someone is cast over another, and most of the time, they are super small reasons. It could be that the costume is just too big for you. The prince is too short for you. It could be that somebody else's cheeks say Clara when they smile. It could be that you actually look better dancing in another role, even though you want that fill in a blank role. It could even be that the director decided to go with a Clara that was more expressive than technically advanced. Are you starting to see the flaw in such a specific goal? So let's think about what really happens when you don't get the role. You get sad, maybe shed some tears. You start thinking, was it worth the effort that you put in? You maybe start questioning your dancing. You wonder if you're even a good dancer since you didn't get the role. You start questioning your friends and their competency and hard work that got them to the role that you wanted. And worst of all, you're no longer present in your class because you've got a case of the poor me's. You've lost your vision for the future and goals that are in reality bigger than the one role that you're sad about. So to pull this all back in, I believe that some of this could have been avoided by setting better goals that you can measure and reach. So what if instead of putting your self-worth into one role or job, we made better goals and picked ourselves up quickly from disappointment? Yes, it's okay to feel disappointed and want something so hard that it hurts when you don't get it. But think about this. How often are you feeling disappointed? A couple times a year, every month, weekly, daily? Being disappointed can mean that you set your expectations that are so specific and far out, you can't reach them quick enough. And there is a balance between goals and expectations that can be a fine line, in my opinion. So what am I proposing? I'm proposing we pick ourselves up and we set realistic goals you can better measure. Unfortunately, dance is subjective to a level, meaning that if dancer A did a triple pirouette on a bent leg with a sickled foot and dancer B did a triple pirouette with great form, if the goal is to do a triple pirouette, technically dancer A and B did a triple. See what I mean? So setting goals like improving balance, strength, leg height are a better way for you to measure. They're going to be more measurable in the end. I'm also a huge fan of mental goals because only you can be accountable for those. Start thinking about what you need to do to improve to get the role that you're aspiring to. If you're not sure, I suggest that you speak to your director or teacher. But here's a hint. Do not go up to them right after the audition. Do not go up to them and say that it's unfair you didn't get whatever role. And do not complain to your friends saying you should have gotten fill in the blank. I would wait until the casting buzz has worn down, and I would email or ask in person for 3 minutes of their time at their convenience. Let them know that you're excited about this year's opportunities and what you have to work on to perfect this role. I would say in anticipation of next year, I was wondering what you feel I should be focusing on for the next year's audition. Notice that I did not say Clara. I did not say, what do I need to do for this specific role? Share with them how excited you are to work hard and thank them graciously for their time and comments. Another little hint and a touch of tough love is that after you ask your teacher for these comments and corrections, it's your job to do the work. It's not your teacher's job to hold your hand and make sure you're doing the work. They told you what you need to work on. Now go do it. You will not improve by only going to class. You will not improve by only stretching. And when I say that, I mean, of course you will improve if you go to class and put your mind to it, but I promise you that the leads in the ballets you're in, the company dancers that are in the company just above you or in your dream job are not just going to class. They are working their butts off outside of the studio, doing things that don't look like ballet. You're going to have to work outside of class, and you're going to have to sweat and put effort and shake and be sore and be willing to do the things that you do not enjoy as much as pirouettes and leaps. My dancers that get the most unsolicited comments of improvement from their dance teachers are coming to me weekly, and they're doing their homework 5 days a week plus other exercises. Now, I guess little side note to interject here is that if you don't know who I am at this point, I am a dance conditioning coach in Huntington Beach, and I work with all levels of dance and athletes. And my dancers come to me to work on technique, strength, and injury prevention. And what I can tell you is that as they work outside of the dance studio and they replace some of their favorite things that may not be the best things for them, they are improving so quickly, and they're getting these unsolicited comments of improvement. It's great, guys. Another thing that I'm noticing about successful dancers is that they are mentally strong and gracious to others and also themselves. Being gracious and truly excited for your friends' accomplishments is huge. Think about it this way. If you had gotten the lead role, wouldn't you want to be excited with your friends and have them congratulate you with true enthusiasm? It is possible for you to be sad that you didn't get what you wanted and truly thrilled for your friend's success. Remember back in the beginning when I was talking about not knowing why you didn't get the role? Here it is again. You don't know why you didn't get the role. And if you do, if a teacher has taken the time to tell you why, thank them authentically and get to work. It's a rare gift, guys. It won't be given again if you don't make the changes both you and your teachers desire. Your teachers will reward hard work and effort. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to work hard. And teachers do see that. So if you do get a chance to hear from them about what they'd like to see differently, get to work. And remember, when you're supporting that friend that got the role that you wanted to get, you are creating a long-lasting, loving, supportive, driving group of friends that can push each other to be better. And it will always be easier for you to reach higher, better goals if you do it with your group than if you do it on your own. So to come to a conclusion for today, here are 6 things I would do when you didn't get the role that you wanted. Number 1, say congratulations to your friends. We just talked about this, and just remember, put yourself in someone else's shoes. If you got that role, you would want to be supported by your friends. And I think that the best piece of advice that I can give you in this situation is be the friend that you wish you had. So be the person exactly like you want to have in your life. Number 2 is acknowledge that you're disappointed and you didn't get the part you wanted. It's okay to be disappointed. It's okay to feel sad. Go home and talk to your family about it. It's okay to feel the feels. But it leads us right into step number 3, which is from my episode previous, where I talk about the 5 ways that I use to get out of my funk. So you're okay to feel disappointed and sad, but you got to get yourself out of it. If you didn't listen to the first episode, you can go back 1 episode and hear those 5 things at the end. But I encourage you to find your own things that make you feel better. And until you find them, use mine. You can borrow them. That's why I told you about them. You're going to be experiencing this, quote, disappointment of not getting what you want your whole life. That just happens. You don't always get exactly what you want. And what makes it easy and actually sometimes unnoticeable at this point is your ability to jump back from it and to take off the horse blinders that have you looking at the only thing you're seeing, which is I didn't get the role. If you take those horse blinders off, all of a sudden you see all the possibilities that are there and all the different things that you were leaving behind because you were looking only at this Clara role. You didn't realize that, oh my gosh, dancing Spanish is actually way more challenging than Clara. And you are learning all these skills that are going to help you get to Sugar Plum that then's going to help you get into a company. Number 4 is speak with your teachers about what they would like to see improvement on. Remember that it's a gift they're giving you by taking that time. So be very gracious. And if they give you the time to tell you what you specifically need to work on, you better get to work and make it happen. Number 5 is make goals that are attainable and measurable for the next year. Next week, we're going to have a whole episode on how I set goals with myself and my dancers. And I'm going to share with you the way I do it, how I make sure that they're a goal that's reachable and that can grow and expand with me as I go. Number 6 is simple. Get to work. I've said it a few times in this podcast. Get to work. If you guys aren't happy where you're at in your dancing or your job or your relationships or your friends, get to work. Be the friend that you would like to have. Be the dancer that you would like to be. I promise you, if whatever dancer you look up to in a company, they are working so hard outside of the studio. So just be that dancer. Ask for assistance if you get an opportunity to work with a coach or in private or work with someone like me. Soak it up. You are responsible for the information that comes into you, and then you know how to apply it so that better next year you get hopefully the role that you're looking for. And I just want to say that I feel with confidence that you're going to be getting more casting and job opportunities the rest of your life. I know, duh. But the better that you get at moving forward into possibility, so taking those horse blinders off, the more options, roads, and exciting opportunities you're going to find. The horse blinders really are limiting you when you can't see past what's right in front of your nose. And we have to move through the possibilities and through the downs or disappointments of not getting what we wanted when we get cast so that you can see what else is out there. So dancers and parents, that's it for today. Thank you for tuning in, and make sure that you check back next week for the second part of this where I'm talking about my goal setting process, and I'm going to give you a detailed way to go about and set your goals. And if you're enjoying listening so far, go ahead and swipe down and give me a rating. There are 5 stars below and a place to write a quick review on both iTunes and Google Play. Spotify doesn't have a place to rate or review, which is a shame. But if you feel so inclined to swipe over to iTunes or Google Play, you can leave me a review. It would be much appreciated. And lastly, each week I'm sharing something that I'm loving right now. And at this very moment, I have in my hand the most delicious superfood drink that I'm loving. It's not one of those drinks that you have to power through, because I know when I said superfood, some of you went, blah. It's actually so yummy and it's delicious, hot or cold. The company is called Popjoy, and I have, if you're looking it up, I have the blue spirulina one. It's this beautiful shade of like ocean light blue. It's so pretty. All of the things are super colorful and they're very healthy, which is why I love them. I mix mine with hot or cold almond milk or oat milk, but you could use whatever milk tickles your fancy. And I also put about a teaspoon of honey in it for a little bit of sweetness. To me, it tastes like a latte and it looks like a unicorn drink. What else do you want? Starbucks just made a fortune on releasing a unicorn drink that might have been delicious, but was horrible for you. So you can get this healthy unicorn drink that actually is giving you all the good stuff for your gut and health and skin. And the blue spirulina is good for skin issues and for inflammation, and it just tastes delicious. It's been the perfect drink to give me a boost, and I love to know that I'm doing something healthy for myself. Even if you don't want to drink it, you should check out their Instagram. It's simply just at Popjoy, Popjoy. Their photos are stunning, guys, and I can honestly say that everything is delicious. So just for a little bit of inspiration and color, go check out their Instagram. So that's it for today, guys. I will see you next week on Beyond the Point for our goal setting podcast.